Is the Galaxy S25 Edge's battery really too small? Well, wait till you hear what Apple might be planning with the iPhone 17 Air, and then you might just look at Samsung's slim phone a bit differently. The Galaxy S25 Edge is turning heads. With its sleek and lightweight design, it's incredibly thin, and yes, that means there are some trade-offs, especially when it comes to battery life. The battery inside the S25 Edge can usually last a full day for most users, but it doesn't. Come close to what the Galaxy S25 Plus offers. Still, when you compare it with the iPhone 17 Air's rumored battery, Samsung might actually have the upper hand. According to recent leaks, Apple is working on an ultra-thin model called the iPhone 17 Air. This phone could be even slimmer than the Galaxy S25 Edge, coming in at just 5.5 millimeters thick. That's 0.3 millimeters thinner than Samsung's slimmest phone. But to achieve that, Apple might be fitting it with a tiny 2800 mAh battery. Keep in mind, this phone is expected to have a 6.6-inch 120Hz LTPO OLED display, which is quite power-hungry. To put it into perspective, that battery is about 1,100 mAh smaller than what you get in the Galaxy S25 Edge. That's roughly a 28% difference. Some reports say that Apple's own internal testing shows this smaller battery will only be able to last a full day for about 60 to 70% of users. For comparison, most other iPhones manage to hit that mark for 80 to 90% of their users. Apple is apparently hoping to bridge this gap with smarter software. iOS 19 is rumored to come with new AI-based power-saving tools to help make the most out of the 2800 mAh battery. Whether that's enough remains to be seen, but it shows just how much Apple is counting on software to make up for the smaller hardware. Weight is another area where Apple is trying to go lighter. The iPhone 17 Air could weigh just around 145 grams. That's 18 grams less than the Galaxy S25 Edge. On the back, it's expected to have a single 48-megapixel camera using a 1.56-inch sensor. That's roughly the same physical sensor size as the Galaxy S25 Edge, though Samsung's main camera is 200 megapixels. While the iPhone 17 Air won't have extra lenses for telephoto or ultra-wide shots, it may still support a 2x optical quality zoom, similar to the Edge model. The front camera is said to be 12 megapixels. Apple is also making some design compromises to keep the iPhone 17 Air so slim. It might not have a physical SIM card slot, and stereo speakers could be dropped too. All of this suggests that the focus is on making it as thin and light as possible, even if that means removing some popular features. What comes after One UI 8.0? Well, now we know. It's One UI 8.5. Yes, that's what Samsung is working on next. And no, this isn't a guess. It was quietly revealed through a hidden menu inside the phone app on Galaxy devices. If you didn't know, most Samsung apps include hidden menus made for testing and debugging. These menus aren't for regular users, but they sometimes give away future plans. That's exactly what happened with One UI 8.5. Someone found a section in the phone app showing that One UI 8.5 exists, even though it hasn't been announced yet. Let's back up for a second. One UI 8.0, based on Android 16, is already being tested on some Samsung phones. It's still in development, and a public beta is expected to roll out soon for the Galaxy S25 series. So while One UI 8 is still fresh, it looks like Samsung is already preparing the next version behind the scenes. This also matches previous rumors. People have been saying for months that One UI 8.5 would follow 8.0, and now we have solid proof. What's interesting is how Samsung is changing the way it names these updates. Remember how we used to get updates like 7.1 and 7.1.1? Well, it seems like Samsung is moving away from those smaller updates. Now, it's looking more like major steps, 8.0 to 8.5, then maybe 9.0 after that. This could be because of how delayed One UI 7 was last year. Maybe Samsung just wants to keep things more structured moving forward. So, when will we see One UI 8.5? Based on what we know, Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Galaxy Z Flip 7 will launch with One UI 8.0. That means One UI 8.5 probably won't show up until early next year, likely with the Galaxy S26 series. Samsung usually shows off new One UI versions with new flagship phones, so this timeline makes sense. Now the real question is, Will One UI 8.5 be better than One UI 8.0? So far, One UI 8 hasn't felt like a big upgrade. Sure, it brings Android 16 features, but there's nothing that really changes. The way your phone works, it feels more like a tune-up than a full refresh. That's why people are hoping One UI 8.5 will bring more exciting features. Maybe visual changes, better animations, or deeper AI tools. Another important point, if your device is eligible for One UI 8, it's very likely that you'll also get One UI 8.5. Samsung has been consistent in updating its supported phones with both the base version and the 5 version that follows. So here's what to expect. One UI 8.5 is real and already appearing in Samsung's own testing menus. It will likely launch with the Galaxy S26 series devices. Getting One UI 8 will also get 8.5, and Samsung may stop doing smaller X1 or X1.1 updates if you want to try One UI 8 early. Keep an eye out. Samsung should launch a beta program later this month. It will most likely start with the Galaxy S25 lineup. Is Samsung finally fixing one of its biggest weaknesses, battery life? Well, sort of. There's a new report from South Korea saying Samsung is working on a new battery upgrade for its Galaxy phones. It's not the next-gen tech fans have been hoping for, but it could still bring noticeable improvements. So what's the deal? Samsung is reportedly switching to a battery component called SUS CAN. It's made from stainless steel and was developed by Samsung SDI, the company's own battery division. This isn't the silicon carbon battery tech that's been making headlines lately, but it still has some real benefits. For starters, SUS CAN batteries are supposed to have better energy density, which means more power can be packed into the same space. They also offer faster charging speeds and help reduce battery swelling over time, a problem many users face after months or years of use. To put it simply, you'll be able to charge your phone faster, and your battery will stay healthier longer. That's already a win. Now here's the catch. Apple is already using this battery tech. The iPhone 16 Pro Max has SUS CAN technology inside, so Samsung is actually a bit late to the party this time. And that's probably why some fans feel underwhelmed by this update. What everyone really wanted to see was Samsung jumping to silicon carbon batteries. This newer tech is already powering phones like the OnePlus 13T, which has a huge 6200 mAh battery packed into a slim design. That's something Samsung's current phones just can't match. Same with Oppo's Find N5, a super thin foldable phone that still manages to pack in a large battery thanks to silicon carbon tech. Meanwhile, Samsung's most recent phones, like the Galaxy S25 Edge, are still using traditional lithium-ion batteries. That means smaller capacities and not much improvement from one generation to the next. So, why didn't Samsung go straight to silicon carbon? It looks like they're playing it safe and going for an incremental step forward instead of a big leap. SUS CAN is more stable and probably easier to roll out across their upcoming phones. It may not be exciting, but it's still progress. Now, when will we see these SUS CAN batteries in action? That part's still unclear. Samsung hasn't given any official dates yet, but sources say development is moving along. If things go smoothly, we might see this tech arrive with the Galaxy Z Fold 7 or the Galaxy S26 series, and honestly, any battery upgrade is good news, especially for users who are tired of running out of charge halfway through the day or waiting around forever for their phone to recharge. Foldables in particular need better batteries, since they power larger displays and more advanced features. Of course, this still leaves some fans disappointed. After all, Samsung used to be one of the leaders in smartphone battery innovation.